landscape is obviously moving so fast. It is sometimes hard to even understand where we stand now. That's the speed of it. But there is no question that there are very successful commercial enterprises now. There have been very well established in the market, both in the United States and in Europe. And their success has been sort of breaking the ice, right, for this biological revolution that we're watching and participating on. There is no doubt that the technique per se, right, I mean, the manufacture and education of be that T cells, natural killer cells, to educate them to recognize tumor is here to stay. I mean, there are huge barriers, especially when it comes to solid tumors, right? We have not been able yet to replicate the success against hematologic malignancies such as lymphomas and acute lymphocytic leukemia when it pertains to say, breast cancer or colon cancer and other solid tumor malignancies. So that's obviously the major frontier to be, developed, if you would. The other issue is part of the conversation that we were having before, which is what is the ultimate model, right? I mean, there are obviously strong reasons as to why centralized manufacturing is ideal. At least theoretically, it allows you to standardize procedures and the manufacture per se and other quality standards much easier than if you were doing that in several different institutions, for example. We've been challenging that a little bit as is the topic of our conversation in terms of going point of care manufacturing. However, the burden of the proof is on the point of care side at this point, no doubt. And other issue that clearly is a very much hot topic that everybody would like to see succeeding is the creation of a reliable off-the-shelf source of cells, which would ultimately cut the manufacturing time and allow more patients to be treated, simply put, closer to a drug, right? That you go to your pharmacy and pick it up, and there it is. In our process, we're down now to 8 days manufacturing, which is quick, as one can imagine, but still not close to be off the shelf. And this debate, right, I mean, using your own cells versus a third-party cells, there are some advantages that are clearly in favor of the off-the-shelf cells that conceivably would not be contaminated by tumor, and the cells would not be exposed to T-cell exhaustion by being collected from a patient who has been him or herself exposed to so many chemotherapies that are toxic to those cells. However, those products have not reached commercial availability yet. So those are interesting perspectives, if you would, in my view, from the manufacturing side of the story. I mean, of course, the other big question mark is towards the targets, right? I mean, be that what it may, if we're going to manufacture the cells in at your own institution or centralized, but the big question is obviously what are the targets? How are we going to evade microenvironment immunosuppression? How are we going to assure that these cells persist when we need them? How are we going to bypass toxicities, right, such as neurologic toxicity and others? So these are huge questions that just highlight how this field is absolutely exciting. And the pioneers had brought us to this point now. And it's, again, I love to label this a biologic revolution, and I think that's what it is. It's very exciting times.